Spoilers for the AOT manga. Plot and theme are both members of the 4 pillars of story. Both are similar levels of importance, but there are 2 notable examples in anime where the theme outweighs the plot. When this happens, the plot and maybe even the setting bend in order to service the theme of the story. First, I'll give the 2 examples. The first is from Naruto, and is at the end of the Pain arc. When Nagato turns a new leaf, he uses the Rine rebirth technique to revive everyone that had died during the assault. It bends the plot and setting in this case, because the jutsu doesn't really add up. We've seen Granny Chiyo use a revival jutsu, which was Kisho Tensei. In this case, she exchanged her life for someone else's life. The cost and benefit is equal here, but in Nagato's case, he sacrifices his one life to bring back hundreds or thousands simply because his paths of pain killed them. How does that work? The jutsu could have had a way out though, because of the King of Hell's involvement. The king had already been introduced as the Naraka Path's soul-stealing weapon, so if the king simply returned all of the souls that Naraka stole, there'd be no problems, but this isn't the case. All lives taken by the pains within a certain time frame, even partially like Kakashi, were returned, not just the souls the King of Hell ate. So this move goes back to not making much sense, but it does support the theme of the arc and scene. This arc is basically saying that forgiveness can end the cycle of hatred. So when Naruto was able to forgive Nagato, a person who fell victim to the cycle, the story decided to have a happy ending by reviving everyone who died because of Nagato. I understand the intent, but the execution was a little messy. The second example is from AOT. This happens in chapter 137. Armin is talking to Zeke in the world of the path. After Armin changes Zeke's mind, several of the previous Titan shifters show up behind him and he wakes them up. Then in the physical world, the previous Titan shifters start manifesting in their Titan forms and help out the heroes. Then Zeke allows himself to be killed by Levi, and the Alliance is able to kill Eren until he comes back later. The world of the path is the place that Eren went before starting the rumbling. Before this moment, we knew that Ymir could kinda heal people and that Eren could start the rumbling. As for Eren's Super Titan, we knew that it could create Titans. The Deus Ex Machina starts when Zeke is able to meet the previous shifters. It was established that Eren could talk to all living people right as the rumbling started, but it was never established that previous shifters existed in the path. And then, the dead shifters manifest their Titan forms. Eren's Super Titan was established to be able to create Titans to fight for him, even former shifters. But the shifters being able to take over their own bodies and have a will that opposes Eren was not a thing. Finally, Zeke happily allowing himself to be killed by Levi was out of character. But thematically, this scene made sense. Ever since Eren became a villain, Armin was always the character who was supposed to be the hero and represent the positive theme. Here, the theme was that the trivial moments of our lives are precious and worth fighting for. There's also the overarching theme that understanding your enemies can create peace. This is shown by Armin and the others opposing Eren's rumbling plan, Eldians and Marlians working together to stop Eren, and the previous shifters and Zeke helping Armin, especially Bertolt, who Armin directly killed. Levi killing Zeke was a good conclusion to his promise to Erwin, but like with Naruto, it was a little messy plot-wise. Now, my thoughts on events like these. I'd obviously prefer if a story could execute the themes without sacrificing the plot, but if a pillar has to be put forward while the other pillars are sacrificed, the theme is the only pillar I'd be fine with. There is not a single case where I'd be fine with the theme being sacrificed for another pillar, because the theme is the most important part of the story. The story can recover from errors in the plot, characters, or setting, but messing up the theme is detrimental. The theme is essentially the meaning of the whole story. It's what the audience takes away and potentially applies to their life. And if an author fumbles the execution of their message, the story, or at least the arc with that theme, is ruined to a degree. So regarding the scenes, I actually really like both of them, despite their flaws. The way the theme was executed in the story created such powerful moments in their respective stories, which just shows how much stronger the theme is than the other pillars. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, and check out my manga for free online. If you enjoy my content, please consider donating to my Patreon. All important links will be in the description.